Welcome back to Stoic Mindset. Today, we're diving into one of the most powerful lessons in relationships: how to never beg for love and instead let it come naturally. Imagine this. You've been in a relationship where you're always putting in more effort, making sure things work, texting first, and constantly wondering if the other person feels the same way. It's exhausting, right? Yet, it's a scenario many people have experienced. The problem isn't your effort. It's the mindset behind it. In relationships, especially romantic ones, many of us make the mistake of thinking that more effort will equal more love. We believe if we keep trying, keep showing up, and keep proving ourselves, the other person will finally see our worth. But here's a hard truth. Love can't be forced. When you chase love, you often push it further away. Think of it like trying to hold on to water. The tighter you grip, the faster it slips through your fingers. The more you beg for love, the less likely you are to receive it. You've probably seen this happen in real life, whether in your own relationships or in others. A friend who keeps calling or texting someone who isn't giving them the time of day. Or someone who is constantly bending over backward for a partner who isn't reciprocating. The result is always the same. The person who's chasing feels drained and undervalued. Today, we're going to explore how you can change this narrative by adopting a Stoic approach to love. We'll dive into the psychology behind why you should never beg for love and how to attract it naturally by becoming more centered in your own worth. In this video, we'll break down the art of not forcing love, using the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. You'll learn why desperation repels love, why self-respect is key, and how true love flows effortlessly when it's meant to be. By the end of this, you'll understand why chasing love is a losing game and how you can attract healthy, fulfilling relationships simply by being your best self. Stay tuned until the end, where I'll share actionable steps you can apply to your own relationships today. Number 1. Love that is chased isn't love. It's validation seeking. The need to chase love often stems from a deeper issue: seeking validation. When you're constantly running after someone's affection, it's not just their love you're after. It's the validation that comes from feeling accepted by them. This is a dangerous game because validation seeking puts your self-worth in someone else's hands. When you base your value on whether someone loves you or not, you lose control over your own happiness and give them the power to define how you feel about yourself. Chasing love is exhausting because it's driven by insecurity. It's the fear of not being good enough, and so you overcompensate by doing too much. You try to prove that you're worthy of their love by texting more, calling more, or showing up for them in ways they aren't showing up for you. But here's the thing. Love that needs to be chased isn't really love at all. It's an attempt to fill a void within yourself. The more you try to seek approval, the less love you'll receive in return. People are naturally repelled by desperation. Another issue with chasing love is that it places you in a position of weakness. It signals to the other person that they have power over you, and that power imbalance can lead to manipulation, whether intentional or not. They may start to take you for granted, knowing that no matter what they do, you'll still be there. This cycle of seeking validation can leave you feeling emotionally drained, because no matter how much you give, it's never enough. You'll always be chasing something that isn't truly attainable. In Stoicism, one of the key principles is understanding what is within your control and what isn't. You cannot control how someone feels about you, and when you accept this truth, you free yourself from the need to chase love. Instead of seeking validation from others, you begin to validate yourself. This is where real love begins, not from a place of need, but from a place of wholeness. Love, when it's real, comes freely and naturally without the need for persuasion. Number 2. Desperation repels, while confidence attracts. Desperation is one of the quickest ways to push people away. When you're desperate for love, it shows in everything you do. It's in the way you overcompliment, the way you text first every time, or the way you constantly seek reassurance that the person cares about you. Desperation signals neediness, and neediness is unattractive because it suggests that you are not enough on your own. Confidence, on the other hand, is magnetic. People are naturally drawn to those who are comfortable in their own skin and don't rely on others for their happiness. Let's break this down. Imagine two people in a relationship. One is constantly checking in, asking for validation, and trying to be perfect in the other person's eyes. The other is relaxed, secure in their own worth, and trusts that the relationship will naturally grow without forcing anything. Which person is more attractive? Is the confident one, the one who knows their value without needing constant reassurance? This doesn't mean the confident person cares less. It simply means they don't need the other person to complete them. This idea is backed by psychology. Studies show that people are more attracted to those who exude confidence because confidence is a signal of emotional stability and self-assurance. When you are confident, you're not afraid to walk away from situations that don't serve you. You're not begging for love or attention because you know that you bring value to the relationship. This attitude of self-assurance naturally attracts love because people are drawn to those who have a strong sense of self-worth. In Stoicism, confidence is about accepting what is and letting go of what you cannot control. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone because your worth is inherent. By practicing this mindset, you stop chasing love and start attracting it naturally. When you focus on building your own confidence and inner peace, you'll find that love comes to you without effort. Confidence is quiet, steady, and unshakable, and that's what draws others in. Number 3. Forcing love only breeds resentment. One of the most damaging effects of forcing love is the resentment it creates, both in yourself and in the other person. When you're constantly pushing someone to love you or give you attention, you're not allowing them the freedom to come to you naturally. Over time, they may begin to resent the pressure you're putting on them. No one likes to feel manipulated or controlled, even if it's done with the best intentions. The more you push, the more they pull away, creating a toxic cycle of frustration. On your end, the resentment builds too. You start to feel like you're putting in all the effort, while the other person isn't meeting you halfway. You begin to think, why am I doing all the work? This feeling of one-sided effort leads to bitterness, and eventually, you may even start to lose respect for the person you're chasing. Resentment kills love, because love can only grow in an environment of mutual respect and freedom. Forcing love also leads to unmet expectations. You might have a picture in your head of how things should be, how they should act, how they should feel, but people rarely live up to these expectations. When they don't meet your ideal, you feel disappointed, and that disappointment turns into resentment. This is why Stoicism teaches us to let go of expectations and accept things as they are. When you stop trying to control the outcome of your relationships, you free yourself from the pain of unmet expectations. The key to avoiding resentment is to let love develop naturally. Love that is forced will never last, because it's built on pressure and obligation rather than genuine connection. When you give people the space to be themselves and choose to be with you freely, you create an environment where real love can flourish. Stoicism teaches us that true love is not something to be captured or controlled. It is something to be nurtured, and it grows best in freedom. Number 4. The more you respect yourself, the more others will respect you. One of the most important lessons in relationships is this. The way you treat yourself sets the standard for how others treat you. When you respect yourself, you send a message to the world that you deserve to be treated with respect. On the flip side, when you allow people to walk all over you, neglect you, or treat you poorly, you're essentially telling them that it's okay. Self-respect is the foundation of any healthy relationship, and without it, you'll always end up feeling undervalued. Respecting yourself means setting boundaries and not settling for less than you deserve. It's about knowing your worth and not being afraid to walk away from situations that don't align with your values. For example, if you're in a relationship where your partner isn't giving you the attention or respect you deserve, self-respect means having the courage to address the issue or even end the relationship if things don't improve. Stoicism teaches us that our happiness comes from within, not from external validation, and self-respect is a reflection of that inner peace. When you respect yourself, others take notice. You'll find that people start treating you differently, whether it's your romantic partner, friends, or even colleagues. Respect commands respect, and when you stand firm in your boundaries, you naturally attract people who appreciate and value you for who you are. This is especially important in relationships, where mutual respect is the cornerstone of love and trust. Without self-respect, love cannot thrive. Stoicism teaches that self-respect comes from knowing what you can control and focusing on that. You cannot control how others treat you, but you can control how you allow yourself to be treated. By practicing self-respect and maintaining high standards for yourself, you'll find that people who are not willing to meet those standards will naturally fall away, and those who truly value you will step up. Number 5. Real love flows effortlessly. It isn't a struggle. One of the most important things to understand about love is that real love doesn't feel like a constant struggle. It's not something you have to fight for every single day, or something you need to earn by proving your worth over and over again. Real love flows naturally, without the need for excessive effort or drama. When love is genuine, both people are invested equally, and the relationship progresses in a healthy, balanced way. This doesn't mean that there won't be challenges, but love itself should never feel like a battle. In many relationships, people confuse the struggle with love. They think that if they're constantly working hard to keep the relationship alive, it means the love is strong. But in reality, when love feels like an uphill battle all the time, it's often a sign that something is off. Whether it's unbalanced effort, mismatched feelings, or unmet expectations, forced love leads to emotional exhaustion and resentment. Relationships should feel like a partnership, where both people contribute equally, and love flows without the need for constant pushing or pulling. Take a moment to think about the relationships you've seen that seem to work effortlessly. What do they have in common? These couples don't spend all their time trying to fix things. They're not constantly questioning their partner's feelings or wondering if they're enough. Instead, they trust the connection, respect each other's boundaries, and allow the relationship to evolve naturally. That's because true love grows from mutual understanding and respect, not from manipulation or chasing. In Stoicism, one of the central teachings is the idea of accepting things as they are and focusing on what you can control. You cannot control whether someone loves you, but you can control how you respond to their love or lack thereof. When you stop trying to force love and instead let it happen naturally, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and anxiety. Love, when it's right, won't require you to constantly prove yourself or fight to keep it alive. It will simply flow, effortlessly and beautifully, as it's meant to. Love should never be something you beg for or force into existence. True love comes naturally, without the need for constant persuasion or effort. By understanding the psychology behind why chasing love doesn't work, and by embracing the principles of Stoicism, self-respect, confidence, and acceptance, you can stop chasing and start attracting love in a healthy, fulfilling way. Thank you for watching today's video on Stoic mindset. If you found this content valuable, be sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Remember, the key to lasting love isn't found in chasing it. It's found in becoming the best version of yourself and letting love flow naturally from there.